Okay. So, according to this, we have action. No sound at the moment.
Turn on Syrinscape.
Let's actually have Syrinscape give us some sound. At the moment, I've got nothing. It really isn't giving me anything. Is Syrinscape operating for everybody else?
Just trying to turn it on now, but I have the usual problems. I click the button says no.
Not at the moment, but it did for a second. But it might just be being weird again.
First sample delay should only be 5 seconds, so why is it taking longer?
I've just seen the GIF that you posted, Gareth. I approve.
I feel that and Thomas need to be the next death battle.
So, everybody check your character sheets to make sure that you can access them, and if you can, that everything, pardon me, is where you expect to find it, including your per session features and abilities that should have reinvigorated themselves, refreshed.
Apparently I'm called D again.
Oh, shoot, dang.
I'm going to presume as it's
Where's
like the
that
gap
turning up?
On the token.
So there is. Okay, let me change that.
What was I saying? I presume we have a long rest to reset effectively.
Sure, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Syrinscape is not liking me click that button.
Syrinscape is like, no, not you. Right, that's a good point.
No pois.
I'm clicking the button. Why
No
were you
pois.
not? Oh, wait. The button turned into a volume bar. There we go. Now I've got music.
Alright, so Glitch does not have anything. That should need session-related rejiggery. But Patron's Boon, Patron, diddly 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 do. It wasn't Patron, then it was Favour. You start with 3 during the Western you do, you gain 50 to your presence. Okay. Enough tinkering. Let us jump into the intro vid, and then we will be right back. Excuse us, folks. Hello, hello, folks. Welcome along to Lost Luyarnha, the continuation. I am MJ, the GM, and I will be your games master for the next 2.5 or so hours. With me are the majority, but not all, of my hunters. So, let us go to the screen that you want to see, which is not just me, but them also. So, currently we do not have a glitch. Hopefully she'll be back with us at some point. But for now, the story continues without Tracy, at the very least, until she is good enough to come back to us. So until then, yes, our group of hunters have now returned from Gallowmore and everything they accomplished there. So, for the moment, we now find ourselves back within the Cathedral of the Radiant Church. Your home away from home. Not that either of you have any real regard or knowledge of where home actually is for you guys, but hey.
I believe you'll find it's Blasphemy Hands Manor.
Not until you bought it.
No one's living there.
By all means, yes, now would be the time to have a long rest.
So I have to click the button for glitch. I say someone meaning Matt. What? Matt?
Spoik. I gotta do it for glitch. Yes, I do. Excuse me. Right, so long rest. She has hit points and stress and armor missing. So, oof. What do we do first?
Yep.
Well, she's a repair person, so she's gonna repair her armor. She more than likely wants to see to wounds, so we'll do wounds and armor for glitch.
If you've got less than 2 stress, don't spend the stuff on it.
She has got 3.
Thank you. Oh, I had 5 hit points and I managed to clear them all.
Nice, nice, nice. Good, good, good.
I swear I pressed the button, it didn't come up. 10 buttons. Where am I?
Right, so Glitch is at least going to start with 2 favor and a full ammo counter. Okay, but she still has got half her stress missing, so if folks can assist with stress, that's cool, but if not, I suppose we'll have to find a way around it, won't we?
I have a way to help with that. I just got to get to
there
it
first. That's fine. So needless to say, when you guys came back with the herb that was needed, Father Hawk was exceedingly happy, was rather perplexed to hear about what had actually happened to the population of the town of Gallowmore, but at least now there is indeed a custodian of the cathedral. I say the cathedral, it's actually a church, a chapel, as well as the town itself and its very precious treasure of the herb that's needed to create this beast repellent. So, you've at least given the people of the Ruby District that much longer in regards to their supplies of beast repellent. So, rousing speech. Talk to your allies and give them stress back. Okay?
if you could apply that to people, because I'm having issues
Not
targeting
letting
everyone
me,
again.
so oh, there we go. Now there's excellent. Just took a bit of a minute or two to rejig. Oh, that is a point. Last time I was having issues with tooltips not going away. The latest update claims that said tooltips have error has been fixed. It looks good on my end, but if at various points you guys could test whether or not you're getting problems with tooltips lingering around longer than they should, that'd be awesome.
Oh, okay.
What is going on with this? There we go. Okay, so we have dealt with folks repairing their armor, folks using medical supplies to heal themselves back up, and a rousing speech to clear people of most of their stress. Is
Matt.
anybody... What was that, sorry?
Not on stream swiping, I just noticed I think the title on the stream needs to be updated.
Oh, did I leave it again? I did. Good God.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Nope.
Forgetful me.
Well,
I mean,
deal with it.
I mean, if you want, Tapestry can have his identity today be a starship captain, but
Oops, I did it again, as Britney Spears said. Well,
Miss
shoot.
Featherington, steady as she goes.
Well,
God help
There
you
we
what
go.
the Feathers is the steady one on the group. I'm pretty sure that Feathers is openly sociopathic, you know, and like you've all realised it. No.
But you're about, she's not said a single thing nasty about anybody.
Well, yeah, correct.
that's a good point. Folks who had short-term madnesses.
Yes, I had the one.
You keep that
Yeah.
for now, because that was from the last one. Galar, knock it down from 2 to 1, because the one you did suffer was from a bit before. and the expiration period for it counting towards whether or not you get a long term from suffering too many short terms has expired for one of them. So
I just realised I didn't write it down. It's something to do with agility.
don't worry about it. The actual madness itself has passed. They tend to only last a single scene. But it's the number of short-term madnesses that you have suffered that counts towards if you suffer 3 short-term madnesses within the space of 48 hours-ish, then the next one you get is a long-term madness, which goes a lot longer. So, Tapestry, you've got that you've suffered 2 previous short-term madnesses. You can probably... Did Tapestry have a short-term madness when you were in Gallimore?
Nope.
You can probably knock those 2 off then. They don't count anymore.
Very much.
Excuse me a second. I just have to take care of a whiny cat.
Meow. Yeah, I'm
You know
not
that
talking at you.
summons your cat. Do I do it that right?
She's asleep on a bed next to the radiator, but she did just go over to her and meow at me when. So she just looked over and meow at me when I did that. So it was more of a "be quiet, I'm trying to sleep" kind of thing. She just rolled back over.
You cast summon. The entity being summoned when...
Feline Overlord
Nah.
desired his mercy. Okay. So, with that little administrative task taken care of, you have spent the vast majority of your rest convalescing, getting food, repairing your armor, getting your health back. It is during the morning that somebody enters into the cathedral, and you recognize her. She is one of the hunters that is attached to this cathedral as part of Father Hawk's assigned cadre of hunters. She was the wounded one who warned of the imminent attack by the undead during Geistnacht, whilst you had not long woken up on the streets of Luyarnha with no memory of how you got there. She is walking in. She has her auburn hair still braided up like she had before, but she is not wearing her armor this time. She is walking with the assistance of a cane, and the arm that isn't holding the cane is wrapped around her midsection. She's obviously still in a good degree of pain. Nevertheless, she starts hobbling towards the nearest group of you, at which point she hails you all. Hi, so I don't know if you remember me at all. I'm Geraldine. I was attached to the hunter cadre here. You saved all those people on Geistnacht? Well,
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
Well, Father Hawk told us all that you were apparently suffering from amnesia. None of you could remember who you were previously?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Well, it's a long shot, but there might be somebody who might know who you are. I mean, as soon as everyone has laid eyes on you, everybody knows that you're hunters. So, I figured if you've been away for as long as... I think Father Hawk said something about you found evidence that you might have been missing for 20 or so years?
Hmm?
There was a
Looking
photograph.
to others.
There was a photograph, apparently, that you'd found.
Yeah, possibly. We'll find out.
Well,
I don't think I've actually seen the photograph in characters. I'm just like, this is news to
This
Peter.
one.
Calad had it all this time, and did.
Is that
tell
the
you.
picture of that could be Galar as a flesh
Indeed.
and blood person?
Indeed.
Well, that is evidence of maybe Galar's past, but doesn't mean we had direct association.
But it's the closest you've got, right? Well,
For
anyway,
Gala, at least.
I figure folks like you, I mean, folks would more than likely recognize you if they saw you again, right? If they knew you from back when. So I figured I would get in touch with some of the older hunters that are still around in the district. And I might know one. One of the oldest amongst us, actually, that's still in the district and still alive. As you can probably understand, the life expectancy of a hunter isn't terrifically long. So those of us who do survive into, well, middle age are usually quite accomplished. So there's one such. Deep Reaver is his name. And Matt's forgotten the name. Borast. Borast Deep Reaver. He's a dwarf, so that explains the long life and the stubborn durability. He is known to a lot of us. He's good, he's experienced, and he's always got time for showing the newbies the ropes. I figured he'd be your best bet. Now, the small problem is that nobody has seen him recently. The last anybody was able to tell me anything was that he'd apparently accepted a private job for a noble here in the district. And nobody's entirely sure who or where. But at this point, Geraldine fishes into one of her pockets and pulls out a strip of paper. I might know someone who could find out. If you go to this address, and she hands the piece of paper to whomever wants to step forward and take it from her. Nominate yourself if you're going to do so. It looks like it's going to be Peter. Okay.
Everyone else was just jumping at the bit, so I was like, fine.
There is another member of the minor nobility that has stayed in the Ruby district. Like many of us, I don't think he had much of a choice. But unlike most of the nobility, I don't think he was alerted to the fact that the district was being quarantined. Anyway, he owes me a pretty big favor. So if you go there to his house, I imagine he might be able to help you. He claims to have his ear to the ground on this kind of thing, so he would probably be your best bet at finding Borast. And if you can find Borast, who knows, you may actually be able to find out who you were. In any case, I figure getting a clue as to who you were, might have been, what happened to you, was worth paying you back for all the effort you went to, not only with Geistnach, but also with finding out what happened to Yander and Melena, and recently with getting the herb supplies up, so there you go. I hope it helps, in any case.
Thank you.
Thank you.
His name's Kranz, by the way. Lord Aldrich Kranz. That's his address there at Kranz House. Just tell him Geraldine sent you. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to help. Oh, and if he asks, this doesn't make us even, but it's almost there.
Pass the piece of paper to Galad. As the word boy, he's quite good with that type of stuff.
The word boy. You have words on paper, therefore give it to the word boy.
I put it in my pouch along with the other letter I haven't opened.
Okay.
So he has a word hold.
Technically true.
So what we're saying
From
is
the
he's a
illiterate
word
person.
dragon.
I'm not a dragon. Dragons don't play violins. I'm sure this is a different ending pattern.
I'm going to try and find a picture of that now.
A dragon playing a violin.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, generator.
In any case. Right, so, yes. Geraldine gives you all a salute and says, well, unfortunately my injuries are too severe for me to return to duties as a hunter, so I'm afraid this is my active retirement. But at least Father Hawk's got all of you for now, so do well by him if you can.
Based on the help from some of the locals, I've got the impression he could really do with any more handyman skills once you recovered a bit more.
She nods and turns back towards the door, which is looking pretty intact now. It's just obviously patched up.
Slightly on the wonk.
Yeah.
This one's a bit more to your scale.
Well then, if you'll excuse me, I have a normal civilian life to figure out how to get back to. But if you need me, I'll be around. Just ask for Geraldine and someone will be able to point me out, I'm sure.
Enjoy finding your new identity.
And enjoy the weapon that you loaned from me. I'm more than happy to pass it on to somebody who can actually use it. Yeah, Glitch at this point might be hiding the disassembled weapon behind her back at this point, I think. So, so Geraldine goes off. Yes, so you have an address for somewhere else in the Ruby District. You can easily find somebody who can direct you to this place. So, I suppose the first question becomes, are there any pre-preparations for this journey that you would like to make?
Pistry is actually going to, before we begin, actually ask the rest of the group, before we begin, are you all certain that you actually want to find out who your identities used to be?
Good question.
Yeah, so kind of need to. At the moment, I'm a bard without a college. This feels like something I should know and be able to communicate with.
Potentially unfinished business, and I don't think that would sit well with me till I know if there is something I still need to do or something I owe.
I'm not asking this to try and dissuade you. I'm just saying, when you say you need to, don't do this because you need to reclaim a past identity. Do it because you think that you'll get something out of it. Past identities should only be kept to the degree that they lift you up and make you more. Don't feel that they need to chain you down. If I get the chance, I'm not entirely convinced that I'll actually put a lot of effort into getting my old identity back. I think that I'd be better off carrying on claiming new identities and learning from each one. That doesn't mean that what I intend to do should be what you all are. Obviously, we're all different beings. I'm just sort of putting it out there. Don't feel chained if you buy whatever you find.
Good advice.
That said, even though I'm I'm strongly considering not sort of like going to too much trouble to reclaim my identity, I'll still come along and help. He says, with the certainty of someone who only the possibility of finally getting hold of Blasphemy Hand's manner might distract him.
Wouldn't it be ironic that at the end of it all, you find out that you own the manor under a different identity?
But it wouldn't have been Blasphemy. Well, actually, it probably wouldn't have been Blasphemy Hands. If I owned the manor under another identity, well, I'd have thought that some of the people around here would have recognised me, assuming this is my default form. Maybe it isn't.
That's why I say other identity. They said a noble owned it. And
if it
you don't
yeah.
currently have the attire, though you could be, as the
Okay.
commons say, slumming it.
You also may have a way to hide your glowing nature that makes all the light or the shadows move.
I don't know what you're thinking about. Anyway, we should make preparations.
Brushes the dust off his coat. Wishing he didn't have great big holes in the back of this coat. Even though I've stitched them back up, it's not the same.
Several times, in fact. Okay, so...
Matt?
Yep.
As part of my preparations, I want to done an uncanny disguise of looking like a minor noble. A very, very stereotypical minor noble.
So, we're talking top hat,
Yep.
waistcoat,
Yep.
long-tailed overcoat.
Yep. Looks like he has a cane. And on his breast pocket, he has a kind of like felt patch with that looks like kind of a shield with the letters BH embroidered on it.
Blasphemy hands.
Of course.
What manner of moustache? Are we talking pointed, curled?
Oh, a curled one, of
Okay.
course. That way while talking,
twirly.
I can. Yes, that way I can twirl it.
Only the twirliest of mustaches will do our fair hero.
It's true.
Han, you might think we might be the bad
I was going to
guys.
say, is this 1700s or 1800s kind of thing?
It's the equivalent of the Victorian era, yeah.
So,
The twiddly mustache is still in fashion.
I was thinking, would it be a powdered wig rather than a top hat?
No.
Because I thought
no.
top hat was more Edwardian.
I did see that figure. Notice that figure at the
Georgian,
beginning of our
not
adventure
Edwardian.
in the top hat.
Sorry.
So it's probably going to be based on that.
Oh, really?
Yep. Just the top hat. I don't think I remember anything else in that silhouette.
No, quite. It was just a silhouette.
Not
but,
consciously.
Okay. Tapestry has donned an appearance rather than a disguise. So, donned facade. Anybody else? I mean, you've still got the use of the folks in the marketplace if there are things you want to trade for stuff like more health potions and the like. I mean, I don't think anybody
on the health
had any...
potion point of view, I think we're a bit low, so that sounds like a really good plan. What do we have we can trade?
Let's see. What do you have? Is there anything in the party stash? No. You do have a handful of coins. Not that anybody uses coins all that much. Anything anybody hasn't used in their inventory that they think they could trade for it?
Could I trade my basic supplies for a new health potion? Or is that a bit... Actually, for a check, how much is a health potion? We talking a handful of coins? Or a bit more?
Interesting question, since this is mostly a barter system.
I know, but I have a handful of coins in my pocket.
Dear Delilah. Let me see, what have you got? Photo letter, the bone vial.
A handful of coins and basic supplies for a health potion?
The handful of coins won't net you anything at the moment, but if you really want to get the basic supplies, what they will give you is... Let me find that.
I think at current use, you might as well just put them in a sock and use them as an improvised weapon.
What, the health potions or the coins?
The coins.
If you use the basic supplies, which I will zero out. What you get is...
Ah. Thank you.
a holy tonic.
That's better than a...
Better than a minor health potion, yes.
Yep.
I think I could give away the torch. Tapestry doesn't really have much use for it.
Cool. That will also net you a holy tonic if you want to get rid of the torch.
What does a holy tonic do?
Well, you've got one in your
1d4
inventory
and 1
already,
stress.
so...
Oh.
Oh no, I'm looking at somebody else's inventory.
Yeah.
1d4 hit points plus 1 stress. Clear.
Yeah, I'll swap that for holy tonic.
Cool.
think what I
So
do
in your
need-
inventory, there is like the 3 vertical dashes. When you hover over it in your inventory, it should say more options. If you click that, it'll give you a secondary menu which should have like edit, send to chat, and delete.
So in inventory, 3 dashes where?
So on your torch, there's like a box.
Oh,
that
right, I
has the
see.
number 1. Next to that is a
Yeah.
speech bubble. Next to that is the 3
Yeah.
dots going down.
So I want to delete that. And put a holy tonic in.
There you
Yay!
go. Lovely.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, you don't need a torch, so. And that's useful
Yeah.
to other people who don't have dark vision to see at night, so you can definitely trade for that, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is Glitch short on anything? 'Cause we can't look into her character sheet.
Let's see, she has no consumables whatsoever.
So getting something probably be useful.
Yes, so let's see. Let's do what Kala did, which is the basic supplies. Grab a holy tonic. Okay, is Galar doing anything in regards to that, or is Galar okay for... Actually, Galar's pretty okay for stuff. Sean, anything else Galar wants to get? You've muted yourself, by the way, which means he's probably away. Oh, he's be right back. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's not come back yet.
Yeah, so Galar looks like she's got a pretty full inventory, so I don't think. Glitch did need that. Peter, you look okay. You've got a holy tonic and a stamina potion. Miss Featherington... Miss Featherington's looking pretty kitted out as well, actually. Whispering Orb, Arcane Prism, Stamina, Holy Tonic, Health Potion as well, so yeah. Looking pretty good. Alright, is that sufficient for everyone, do we think?
I'm happy.
So did you say you traded something onto Glitch, or is something?
Yes, I did.
Or did you... Yeah, cool. Then yeah, that's all. As long as we've got some sort of backup healing each.
I think I'm down to point planning at this point.
So, whatever you can trade or get your hands on. Or maybe even consider doing like a bit of work for people to maybe earn a holy tonic or something here and there would be potential for the future. But for now, you have a task ahead of you. So, let us be about it. It doesn't take you terribly long to find your way to Cran's house. It is fairly singular in that it is a... Well, it's a manor house, but it is slightly out of the way. All the same, you do eventually find your way towards House Franz as the day is becoming... the day is getting on as it's evening time when you're done shopping around and preparing yourselves for what's to come. And of course, for searching around for Cran's house, you do have to go a little distance in order to find it. So, the slip of paper you were given leads you to a huddle of decrepit, abandoned townhouses. Your destination emerges as an ill-kept micro-mansion, its past splendour marred with soot and poor maintenance. Knocking on the worn wooden door elicits an answer in the form of a sullen-looking man. In worn and frayed attire, who does nothing but stare at you all accusingly. A few attempts at civil greeting from yourselves is answered only by further silence. The awkward exchange is interrupted, eventually, as a metallic clatter sounds from further into the building's interior, followed by a polite range of curses. A susurrant voice from within the darkened mansion calls out, "Felt! Felt, where are you, man? I need help!" An irregular clack of leather-shod footsteps precedes a figure moving into shadowed profile from further into the receiving hall of the mansion. Stopping suddenly, as whoever they are notices you, standing in the doorway. "Felt!" says the figure, drawing forwards, in ungainly lurches. "You should have let me know they were guests." The speaker finally comes into view. Ooh, big flourish from the music there, thank you. His clothing is a feature in contrasts, bearing the shirt and breeches of a gentleman, though greatly worn and covered in sticky chicken feathers. Most notable, however, is the golden brocaded mask that covers exactly half of his face. He speaks with a slight whisper to his voice, as it appears that only the half of his mouth that is visible functions. He walks with a distinct limp, his left leg seemingly unable to bend at the knee. As he approaches, he attempts to clean his hands with a dirty rag, while the grizzled guardian at the door continues to block your entry. "Well, don't just stand there, man," says the masked man. "Allow them in." The mute appears apprehensive, but quietly capitulates and slips behind the door to hold it open for you, though his face still wears a distinct frown of disapproval. "I say," remarks the masked man as you slowly enter, "none of you perchance know how to pluck and prepare a chicken, do you?"
I think my colleague over here will be an expert in that area. Peter?
I just stare glaring at Callan. You are the one who's good with your hands. You would be best.
Featherington walks past and goes into the presumed kitchen. Cool, so that means you guys can eventually congregate in this area. Lord Kran's apparently off to one area, whilst Felt busies himself, probably in the actual kitchen. Or at least the pantry. So, is somebody taking him up on the offer to, or the request, pardon me, to pluck and prepare a chicken?
Feathers just walks straight in and grabs it.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to bring Glitch in.
Meanwhile,
Oh, Galas. Oh, we got to bring Sean as well because he's not back yet.
Cool. So
I got the letter. That's interesting.
Before going in, he's going to examine the room he's in first. Before just barreling through to the house.
Sure, it's well, if it wasn't dusty with a few cobwebs here and there, it would be a very grand place indeed. There are suits of antique armour, there's what looks like a boar's head, stuffed and mounted. There are a couple of portraits on the walls here and there, but the subjects of those portraits have long since faded to obscurity with too much grime covering it from the passage of time. One of the walls, however, behind one of the suits of armour, appears to have the entire wall decorated in what looks like a depiction of a tree with many, many branches, and at the end of each of these branches is a space for what looks like individual portraits and names and dates. So to all intents and purposes, it appears that somebody has made a decoration of their family tree. What's notable, however, is on the lower branch, it seems to terminate in 4 individuals. A regal-looking man, a human of noble bearing, along with a similarly noble-looking woman. There is a space next to them which has been apparently scratched and burnt off. And just to one side there is a space that has a name, but so far no portrait put in. So, some plucking and preparing of a chicken later. Whilst, after it is done, expertly done by Featherington, do we think, Webby?
I think so.
Sure, cool. Even to the point of starting to put what few herbs and whatever are dangling from the herb rack.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I think
Not
she's
that
very,
far.
very good at butchering, at sort of like shredding the chicken of its feathers, and then just chucks it on the counter when she's done.
Okay, cool.
Because the task was to defeather the chicken. He didn't ask it for it to be seasoned.
Cool. Okay. In which case,
Or even cooked.
The individual Felt now appears to be busying himself with preparing the rest of it. At which point, Lord Kranz has actually offered you each some wine, but not particularly expensive stuff. So those of you who wish to can partake if you want. He himself is resting up against one of the side cupboards over here, watching Miss Featherington pluck this chicken. At which point he raises a glass to Miss Featherington. Thank you, oh so very much. I'm afraid my cook left recently, so... And Felt here is a man of many talents, but for the most part it seems plucking the chicken was beyond his weathered hands. I thought I'd give it a go. I mean, in my arrogance, I thought, how tough can it be? But then he gestures up and down to himself, still covered in feathers.
And the music just went, that note of like, has this guy turned evil?
Well, everything in Luyarnha's sinister, come on.
Including the things on the right.
So, what brings you to Kran's house, my friends?
We've been told you might be able to assist us in a amnesia-related problem.
Oh.
Hands up our letter of introduction.
Oh, I see.
A mutual friend advised you may have some informational skills in this area.
Which friend would that be, perchance?
Geraldine says this might get her closer to even, but this might even things out, but it's not quite there yet. I think that was
Geraldine. Yes, okay, that makes sense now, of course. Well, of course, any friends of Geraldine are friends of mine. So, yes, make yourselves at home as much as you can. As unfortunately, as you can see, we're not exactly stocked for guests at the moment, but we'll make do with what we have. Right, Felt? The servant Felt just looks up from under his eyebrows at Lord Kranz, then regards yourselves before taking the chicken into where you suppose is the rest of the pantry and maybe even the oven. Well, far be it from me to have everybody stay out here in the kitchen. What say we retire to a more comfortable room? Not that I'm that sure that there's many comfortable rooms of serviceable quality here anymore, but, well, can but try.
Lead on,
So
good sir.
Is there any room you guys would like to park yourselves in order to have a conversation?
We've only seen 2 rooms so far, so is there a sitting room?
There's a dining room, there's a library, there is an entertaining room over this end of the building, sure. So
Okay.
Lord Kranz can take you there. To get there, you have to go through the dining room, into the library, into the drawing room, into the...
So he starts taking us on the tour of the house.
Essentially. A lot of it is, as I've described it thus far, it hasn't seen much upkeep in a long time.
There we are. Just need to pull across Galar and Lich.
Is that a very nice piano he's got in the corner?
When you try tinkling some of the ivories, as it were, it's very out of tune.
Sounds like a challenge for another day.
Would you like me to bring Featherington in, Webby? Nope, you got it? Okay. So, yes. Begins Aldrich. Geraldine said you needed my help with something. Well, like I intimated, any friend of Geraldine's is a friend of mine, so what can I do for you?
We arrived in the city during Geistnacht with no memory of how we got there.
Oh,
We are
that's
looking-
amnesia, I see.
We're looking for an old hunter that could potentially recognize us.
Oh, excellent. Do you have a name?
Looks to Kalad with a piece of paper.
The hunter you were looking for was Borast Deep Reaver.
Boras Deep Reaver, I believe it was. If you've heard anything from them recently?
Can't say that name rings a bell. Any more information to go on besides the chap's name?
Apart from being an old hunter, I actually can't remember. Was there anything else given?
No one could get hold of him because he'd taken a job for somebody recently.
Yeah, we know he took a job for someone recently and no one's been able to find him since, which is why we got sent in your direction.
Which means that your old hunter was being hired by somebody else, and only I can find... I see. Probably been hired by another of the nobility, then. Well, it shouldn't take long to find out who that might have been. I'm not exactly what one calls a member of the upper echelons at all. In fact, I can barely be considered a minor noble these days. But, he gestures up and down to himself. I at least have the advantage of being something of a curiosity amongst the nobility, so, if you will give me some time, I will send out some messages and see if I can't get somebody to
Sean
find
just dropped.
who you're looking for. Who did we just lose?
Sean.
Give him a minute.
Sean, yeah, okay. Okay, so Lord Grimes essentially gives you leave to make yourselves comfy for a bit while he hobbles off. He yells for Felt a good few times, and he himself does hang around, but he sends Felt off in order to try and locate whoever it is he felt off to try and locate. So you have some time. Featherington was staring at the paintings. You get the general impression of, besides a few purely artistic pieces like skylines and the like, there are a couple of portraits of individuals, but a lot of the art here has been pretty much made dirty and dank to the point of almost being able to not tell what's underneath all the dirt. This place hasn't seen care in a long, long time. Or at the very least, no one's gone to the effort of cleaning up the portraits anymore. Start sweeping. Sure.
Have we been left alone, Matt, did you say?
Sorry?
Did you say we've been left alone for a while?
Essentially, yeah. Lord Aldrich Crans himself is still around, mostly because he can't travel physically very far. So, was there anything you wanted to do whilst you were here in the Crans?
Devistry, unless he stopped my want to start looking around in the library to see if there are any interesting sort of tomes and stuff.
The general impression you get is that from the state of the books, they were bought to just be shown off, not actually read. So it's one of those pretentious things where people buy books that are supposed to be like books that'll change you, or the big books, you know, like the big 100 books that you have to read before you die kind of thing. People buy them but put them in their shelves just to look smarter than they actually are.
It's the sort of the ones where you look at the shelf and go, they bought it by the yard.
Exactly. So you doubt anyone has read any of these things. But the one thing that Tapestry does notice is that one entire bookcase seems dedicated to genealogy.
You know what genealogy is often tied to? The idea of one's identity. That's the sort of thing that would probably interest Tapestry.
I mean, you don't. A Tapestry doesn't recognise any of the names in there, which is hardly surprising. Yes.
Right. Cool. Books that would appear in this sort of thing, if you're getting them by the yard and trying to be pretentious about it, is probably things on some stuff on local history as well.
Sure.
Do they have anything about the godless king?
Ooh. Let's think.
Music kicks in just as you start talking about him.
Interesting timing. Is there anything specific you're looking for? Or generally what you're looking for? Because you've already found out some about him.
We found out some about him, and we have just got back from our adventure getting rid of one of his atheist inquisitors, I think is the best way of putting it. So, seeing what history actually said about that sort of thing, rather than what the guy said himself, seems of interest.
Okay.
The coward at this point.
Unfortunately, the point of view that you get is one very, very biased against the Radiant Church. So this would suggest a good many of those books are, I'd like to say, propaganda pieces, which makes an unfortunate amount of sense, because according to what you do know is that during the time of the Godless King, it was the nobility that were in charge. And so the Radiant Church were viewed as revolutionaries, essentially, you know, folks who were trying to upset the established order. Renegades. So some of the older books in the repositories kept here in Cran's house appear to have been old treatises written by nobility decrying of the decline in social mores and stuff like that, and how ingrates are rebelling against the king who brought them societal increases like better transport, better technology, and better defense, that kind of thing. So it's a lot of very biased material.
Still interesting to know it's there.
But it definitely suggests a society that was ruled by the upper classes. Until all of a sudden it wasn't. So there we go. Unless there's anything
goes
else
back
that
to
you were going to look
attempting
at?
to tune the piano.
Yeah,
What
go
else?
back to it. That's going to take some work, because this thing has
Well,
not seen use in a
you're
long
going.
time.
That's a really duff note. That's a dead rat. That's still a duff note.
Yeah, look how he bounces in there. Look at this, I can make him hop. Anyway. So, unless there's anything else you guys want to take advantage of or look at whilst you are in here, in Cran's house. Okay.
No.
Eventually, Felt comes back and hands Aldrich Crans a note, at which point he has a read of it and dismisses Felt back to whatever it is Felt does when he's not around. Okay, well, we've made some progress. As you can imagine, the amount of nobility that's still here within the Ruby District is somewhat small. But I find out who it was that hired this Borast Deep Reaver fellow that you were talking about. Another one of the middling, I suppose you could say, nobility. Fellow called Thomathin Rayvolt. One of the rare breed of nobles who actually chose to remain here in the Ruby District, even though they were given advanced warning of it being quarantined. Something, now that I remember, I seem to recall that if it's the Thomathin Rayvolt I think it is, I'm kind of not surprised. That stubborn old goat only ever really cared for one thing, and that was his family name and its so-called integrity. If I recall, the Rayvolt line has been in decline for quite some time. So if Thomathin's still about, then I imagine he's clinging on only because he's too stubborn not to. Either way, if Rayvolt is the one who has hired Borast, then him being something of a wily old bastard means that the only real way to contact him is to find out the job. And thankfully, Felt, bless him, has come through. Apparently, Lord Rayvolt actually put out a notice for someone to assist him with an investigation of sorts. Something to do with slander of his good name or some such. And Borast was one to take up this job that had been allocated by Lord Rayvolt. If you want to make contact with Lord Rayvolt, you're going to have to apply for the job that apparently Deep Reaver didn't manage to finish. And that's what I have here in my hand. Apparently it's been posted up as notice that he's put out a call for people to take up the same job that he advertised that Deep Reaver took up. If any of that makes sense. Sorry, I do tend to jabber on a bit when I'm nervous. I don't get many visitors. Nobody really speaks to me all that much because of, well, and he gestures up and down to himself again. In any case, according to this, the best way to make contact with Lord Rayvolt is to apply for the task. To do that, you have to meet with Rayvolt's contact. He'll be waiting at a specific location on the docks, which I have the address for here. Apparently, when you meet someone out there, you're to say that you are interested in very large beds as the code phrase. Ugh. Why Revolt wants to do this whole song and dance, I don't know, but there you go. He's a funny old fellow. So there we are. The address for the contact for Lord Revolt and the passphrase that you have to use. Once you've got it, I'm sure you'll be told the rest as to where to go and whatnot. If, of course, you need to come back for any reason, you are perfectly welcome to come back and convalesce here, such as it is, if you want to.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Such as it is. Well then. So, the address puts you in the direction of the Dockwood Market, which apparently is where you are going to meet your contact. First, however, let me just check something. Okay. So, with no real preparations to make, you assemble in the main hall and leave. So if I can have you all assemble outside, as I bring Galar as well. We have Peter still remaining back, so I'm going to drag him out. So, with your destination set, you all exit Cran's house. But as you do, the light fades to darkness. As the moon rises.
Guessing my night vision isn't kicking in.
Oh.
Darkness falls, and as you look up, you realize that the moon is there, but it does not appear as you remember. It resembles naught but a gaping maw of shadows swallowing all light and casting the land into an all-consuming darkness. The moon is now akin more to a black hole in the firmament, revealing a realm just slightly beyond yours. Ghastly spirits appear to writhe in torment, suspended upside down by iron chains that ensnare their necks. Their frightful visages, twisted by suffering, emit harrowing wails that rend the air, filling the hearts of those who bear witness with dread. So obviously, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do
Madness roll?
is indeed a short-term madness roll, especially those of you who can usually see in the darkness suddenly also see the darkness fall around you. You're just as unable to your eyes are just as unable to penetrate the darkness as anybody else's.
It's a reaction roll, I can't remember.
It is indeed a reaction roll, either instinct or knowledge, whichever one you choose. Peter is okay.
I don't think I am.
I'm
Tapestry
not
is
seeing the dice roll.
Your result was 20.
I'm gonna roll mine at disadvantage with a. I'm used to be able to see everything.
Mm-hmm. Result? No, you do not succeed either.
Just reloading because the dice animation stopped.
Okay, no problem. You've already done your rolls, that's fine. So what I need is I need Glitch, don't I, to do one? So let's do that.
And Galar.
So we make the reaction roll for Glitch. That's not bad. That is 15, that is good. So far we are... Oh yes, we also need... Galar. Where's Galar gone? Probably don't want knowledge, so we'll go for instinct. Reaction roll. Roll! That one just about made it. So who failed? Miss Featherington is voluntarily failing as per usual, I take it?
I think she has to at the minute anyway.
Not necessarily.
Whenever you notice or hear something of Eldritch nature, to drop whatever you're doing to inquire about it and attempt to get closer to it, physically or otherwise.
That doesn't necessarily state that you don't make the reaction roll to save against short-term madness, so I still leave it up to you if you want to or not.
Yeah, she ain't going to save against it. It's Eldritch.
Sorry, you said yeah, suggesting to me that you are going to roll against short-term madness.
No, she's not going to save
She's
against
not going to roll against it. So that's half of you are succumbing. So Tapestry and Khalad and, of course, Miss Feathers. So let me consult the short-term madness tables. First one for... Well, let's do Looney Tunes herself, Miss Featherington. Make a note that you have suffered another short-term madness. The madness inside you bursts forth as haunting screams.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we've never heard them say anything before.
You can't talk properly. Yelling is the only way you can communicate. So, emphatic gesture, then.
This is a
Every
when
attempt
you've been sworn
by-
at by a sign language.
Yeah, every attempt by Lady Featherington, Miss Featherington, to communicate from here on is exaggerated.
Full interpretive dance mode.
Indeed. So,
The mirrors have got even darker. Before I could barely see myself, and it's got. I swear it's got worse.
So, what's this roll for? Minor illusion caster. 13 with VR. So that's a successful cast of that. Doodly doodly doo. Who else did we have? We had Tapestry. Right, Tapestry's short-term madness.
On blasphemy hands.
The Eldritch horrors are revealed to you. Hang on, where did that go? That didn't pop up. There we are. The Eldritch horrors are revealed to you, bathing you in fear. 78 to 80. 71 to 80, pardon me. And it's... You become frightened of your allies. You must move away from them by the quickest available route on each of your turns, unless there is nowhere to move. If you start your turn, or the spotlight, in a location where you can't see any of your allies, you can use your spotlight to gather yourself and end the madness. Well, play that as you will for the short term until we actually get to.
Run off into the darkness, then cry until you feel better.
And so the last one is Khalad, isn't it? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Khalad's short-term madness. So once again, remember to note down that you have suffered another short-term madness. Your mind is liberated from any sense of self you may possess. 1 to 10. Desperate to find yourself again and believe anything, you automatically fail a reaction roll against being lied to, charmed, persuaded, or otherwise mentally manipulated.
Okay.
So short-term madnesses last a scene, or essentially until I tell you that, it wears off. So for the moment, it will these short-term madnesses will follow you into the next scene. But yes, it seems the darkness has now become all-pervasive to the point where you cannot see a thing. So, doing in light of this? Because even those of you who can normally see in darkness cannot see. Well, Glitch does not like the darkness. We have already established that. So Glitch is going to light her torch. What happens when she lights her torch, however, is somewhat interesting. As she lights it, but what you notice is that usually when you light a torch, it casts light to a certain distance and then casts only dim light to a further distance, but it's not shedding enough light to reveal what's in dim light. So there is only bright light, and you can't see anything beyond.
Matt, is the light casting a shadow probably behind Peter onto the wall?
Probably.
Tapestry is going to dive into that shadow and shadow step as far away as possible.
All right.
And we never saw him again.
Pretty much.
All right. Zip zap over to there. So what I will say for this is that because Tapestry is somewhat fearful of his companions, if it's a staggered line rather than a joined up line, it means there's a wall in the way and you can't move there.
Okay. Does that mean I wouldn't be able to shadow step there?
You will be able to shadow step there. It just means that when you're trying to move your token and it gives you the divided line along the course, that means that it can't take you there because there's a wall.
Yeah.
Tapestry will still follow, but will follow at a distance. So he will stay in the shadows, even though staying in the shadows means that you can see the vacuous moon. There are no stars in the sky. There are only those people hanging upside down, corpses. Some of which you think you know, but you don't know why. And the same goes for all of you. Any of you who look into the sky and see some of these upside down corpses just floating along. Sometimes you spot one you think you know, but you can't place why you know them.
Oh dear.
Miss Featherington waves at one. Curiously, it doesn't wave back. And so, you have your directions. Waves more aggressively, yes indeed. And so, slowly but surely, the team finds their way along towards your destination. So, give me a moment to fix that destination with the appropriate light source. Be right back, need to grab a drink, no problem.
Then there were 3.
So, make your way through the streets. So, just before an arched gateway lies an eerily silent cobblestone path leading further into the city. Despite the slight breeze, the scent of death and refuse is overpowering with each step forward, revealing rotting corpses lying in the shadows and gutters. A whispery voice slithers from the shadows. May the light smile upon you, friends. You notice a darkly dressed orc, quietly leaning against a wall nearby. He flashes a crooked smile with a glint of gold and nods in greeting.
Evening. Do you know whereabouts we might inquire about very large beds, by any chance?
At which point the orc smiles and says, "As a matter of fact, I do. You'll be looking to speak with my employer then. Good. Well, it's at that point that, let me see, I'm going to roll a d4. Strike that. I'm going to roll a d3. 1 for Peter, 2 for Khalad, 3 for Tapestry. Yeah.
Sure, Webby's back.
If he lies at me, I'll believe every single word.
Tapestry.
Yep.
From the wall beside the orc, from your slight distance away from your comrades, you notice all of a sudden a massive eye with 2 pupils emerges from the wall, has a look around, and then disappears just as quickly. I need you to make a save against short-term madness again, please.
As much as I might suffer for this,
I fail.
You
I would
do.
say would not acute keen senses here or pick up anything on the wind from this thing.
For the
Was that what
eye,
the roll was
not so
for?
much.
Okay, as I said, I knew it would be bad for me, but I was just like, I have to ask this.
Oh, hello! This will replace your current short-term
Okay.
madness, by the way. You realise that your hands are blasphemous tools! What's
Blasphemy
it gonna be?
hands!
What's it gonna be? It's gonna be blasphemy hands once again! You regain your blasphemy hands.
Excellent.
Now I need to find someone else to pay patty cake with.
Is this guy being fairly dodgy, by the way?
A little
In
bit.
what respect? He came out of the
Right.
shadows, he's leaning against an archway, and he knows what the code word means, sure, but when you say dodgy, in regards to what? Yep, criminals, detect liars, and hide in a safe place, cool. What would you like to communicate to him with? Grabs him by the neck, at which point he pulls out a knife and goes, "Hey, hey, 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 hey! Care to tell me what this is all about, Missy, before I dismantle you?"
She
What are
doesn't talk. She doesn't talk. Oh.
Well, maybe you'd like to communicate to your mannequin here. Pulls out staff, points it up his nose. Okay, but Featherington also realizes that there's a knife being wedged into the join between her torso and her hips.
Ah, that's fine. Should not fuss that much.
Miss Featherington, why the aggression?
Yeah, Miss Featherington. Why the aggression? Turns to face Peter. Okay. He has to type stuff, folks. Give him a couple of seconds.
That's all she's doing at the minute.
Okay. You want to call off your mannequin here before I rethink our agreement?
Looks to Galad with a look of
Looks to
help.
Peter, you're obviously in charge at this moment.
She is her own mannequin, but so I don't think she does appreciate the term, but Miss Featherington, what don't you trust about him?
He straightens his jacket as he spins his knife in his hand into a reverse grip. Yeah, it's treatment like that makes me think you don't like me. So
Just
what's it
think
going to
what
be?
she'll do to the people you don't like if she does that to her friends.
Right, she curtsies rather than bows. She doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Establishing protocol and dominance and that kind of thing. Right. Gotcha. I know how this works. Fine. And he slips the dagger back into its sheath. Holds up his hands. All right, fine. My name is Madden. I was hired by my boss to show whoever turns up answering to the code phrase which you just gave me. And my job is to essentially escort you in this, and he looks about, this fine, horrible, bloody night to my boss's abode. So, if you would like to follow me, I will lead you to the boss man himself, if that's agreeable with you all.
Lead on.
Superb.
Definitely agreeable. Really nice, trustworthy chap.
Just as he starts stepping out in the direction that he's going to lead you, a man dressed in the rags of once fine clothing stumbles out of an alleyway with a red handkerchief held against his mouth. He places a shaky hand on a wall to steady himself just before his eyes roll back and a stream of thick black blood erupts from his mouth. With a shudder, he collapses to the ground, stone dead even before his skull cracks against the pavement. Madden recoils from the corpse and pulls his cloak tighter about himself. We proceed from this point forward in the shadows, he says before motioning for you to follow. This city is sick and there's far worse between us and where we're headed.
Lead the way.
So, he goes in this direction. Now, are you sure you want only the one light source?
Trees remaining hidden and following from a distance.
As a given that we were told we've got to stick to the shadows, as a little light that could draw attention probably would be best. But obviously, others have the right to be wrong.
Sure.
Howard no longer has another light source. He gave it to Glitch.
So, and Glitch is using it at the moment, so there you go.
But we have two people who can glow at will, so...
Yes.
Even though this thing is really creepy and weird because I should be able to see and I can't.
One of the people who can glow at will from your is currently hidden and cloaked. So I don't think you guys will actually know I'm here because from your point of view, I jumped into a shadow and vanished.
Yeah, but that's
You
what
do
you
that
do
very
normally.
often anyway.
Yeah, so it's just that we know you're about because you're always about when you do that. All right,
Okay.
It's when you're not here. When you're not here, we will be concerned because we assumed you were.
Right, so I'm going to have to move 3 characters. So, refuse litters the streets. As you can tell, a lot of the place is not lit, as it does not penetrate, either doesn't penetrate the gloom, or there are no actual lamps lit as of yet. Like most of the buildings that you've seen so far, the homes around here are designed with a slightly asymmetrical shape made of stone, or the eponymous dark ruby-coloured wood panel siding, for which this district is apparently known for. remove the 3 again then, if you guys are all good with keeping up.
Oh, we are missing.
Who are we missing?
Oh, it is tapestry. Never mind. As we're going on, just keeping ears pricked, trying to catch the wind. Just obviously, we're not trusting this guy as far as we can throw him, so it's presumed we're being led into a trap and just keeping ears and nose out.
So the cry of seagulls passing overhead and the soft breeze of the wind against broken glass are the only sounds that can be heard on this stretch. Your silent guide motions for caution as he starts to slip cautiously through the thick shadows. So, what we want now is a group roll, a team roll for a group roll, yeah, for stealth.
Oh, good. I thought you said trusting him at that
So,
point.
what we're getting here is that you will have a group roll. Let me remind myself of group roll. And for those of us who are not entirely familiar with Daggerheart, let's use this as a teaching experience. Group action roll. So, each player describes how they collaborate on the task. The action's leader makes an action roll while the other players make a reaction roll using whatever traits they and the GM decide fit best. The leader's action roll gains a +1 for each reaction roll that succeeds and a -1 penalty for each one that fails. So, essentially, what we have to do is we have to have one of y'all be the leader in the stealth.
No.
So that's probably going to be finesse.
Anybody got more than a +1?
Is this a tapestry job?
So Glitch
Yeah,
has
but
got
Tapestry's already in the shadows and is probably going to be doing stuff in the outskirts to keep yourself hidden rather than go in and sort of direct it. So he's probably better in a supporting role anyway.
I have +2 to insight, which also has navigate as one of the traits on it. So,
But we're looking at stealth rather than navigation at the moment to see if you can get through this area without being noticed. So Glitch has a +1 in finesse, Khalad has a +1 in finesse, Tapestry is doing his own thing, Galar has a 0 in finesse, so who's being the leader?
It looks like it's gonna be me because no one's got more, and the other person with +1's not here.
So
Right.
Tapestry is still helping this action, you say?
Yeah, what I think Tapestry will be doing is flitting around the edges, and if anything looks like it's coming into the light and potentially going to be seeing the group, he wants to be sort of like manipulating like little sounds, feels a presence, stuff like that to try and direct their attention away from the group.
Cool. Glitch is going to just try and stay low, stay stealthy. So she'll help.
The only way I could potentially do would be using his senses to try and direct them away from potential threats that are like just on the edge of like peripheries. So like a sound down an alley, or just when the wind turns and the scent comes of something that could be bad and goes, maybe you want to go like go a different direction to try and direct the team away from the perceived area of thing that's a potential threat.
So you're looking out for dangers. So likewise, Miss Featherington, if you want to use your instinct in order to keep people on the path rather than aid with anything stealthy like, then you can do that, I suppose, too. Yeah.
Do you want the main roll first or after?
Not yet. Let me put this together first. Okay. So Featherington is going to be using instinct to make sure everyone stays on the path. And we want Peter listening out for...
I imagine that'll be instinct.
Using instinct. Okay. which leaves Galar. Galar's got a finesse of 0. How many people can join in this? Is there a limit? I don't think there's a limit. Nope, everyone can join. Okay, cool. It's just the more you have, the more potential there is for people to not do it and therefore give you a penalty. So we'll see. She's got agility of 1, strength of 2, finesse of 0. So heck with it. Let's just go for finesse then and try and help with the overall stealthy. It's not a penalty either. Okay. That's that formed. Let me throw that in. So hopefully now in the results column you can see that everybody needs to make a roll except for Kalad. Kalad makes it last because it calculates the bonuses gained from everybody else's rolls first. So those of you in the rest of the team should roll.
Matt?
Yeah.
So I was just going to say, can I, because I'm trying to actually misdirect anyone who looks like they're coming up to the group. I was hoping to roll presence as a kind of like deception.
I've already locked in finesse for now, so I'll have to use that. Okay. I'm sorry, but
okay.
I'll take it into account.
Okay.
13 is a pass. A 17 on tap is a definite pass. So yep. Oh, hang on. Why did it unset that? Or do I have to tick them when they're all done? Let's test that. Webby, can you roll yours now, please? Let's see if it unticks everybody else's that I've ticked so far. No, it didn't. Weird. Why did it untick? 11 is not quite enough. So that's 1 down. Let me roll glitch. Ooh, that wasn't very good. And Galar, since Sean's not here, I'll roll for them too. Ooh, that's better. Yeah, cool. So overall, we've got +1, -1 cancel each other out, +1, -1 cancel each other out. There is +1 left over altogether to add to Kalad's finesse roll. So, Davis, roll. Oh, crit. Critical success. Look at that.
That gives me a hope. All right.
From this... Yeah, I think that's the benefit of being the leader, is you actually do get the result where everyone else was rolling a reaction roll. So yes, that was your roll. You do get a hope, and you clear a stress if you had one. Cool. In that regard, with you guys having such a critical success, you notice something as you are coming into this area here, which means I will move these guys up so it's a little bit more lit. But Peter keeping an eye out for danger, as well as Tapestry keeping an eye out as well on the peripherals, and Miss Featherington keeping everyone engaged. You notice, even though they are trying to keep themselves hidden, there are subtle beats of movement that attract your peripheral vision, where you notice that there are figures, or there is at least a figure on top of this building here that's just poised. Doesn't seem to be doing anything, but it's cocking its bird-like head in a very bird-like fashion, as if it's listening out for, well, potential targets maybe. You notice that your guide, Madden, as soon as you guys notice, he seems to direct his gaze up to where you're looking and freezes with an obviously alarmed look on his face. And is now looking in pretty much your guys' direction for what it is you want to do. Now, is Tapestry actually going to draw the attention of one of these things, or is he going to go silent?
I should say Actually, because he's currently got the blasphemy hands, Finn, I think he'd actually try and get up there and use them to take it out.
So you want to
Because
launch
he
a
is
surprise
currently
attack?
into. Yep. So if he needs to, he'll shadow step to get into melee to use his blasphemy hands.
Yeah, because it's on top of a building, so it's about 10, 11 feet in the air.
Okay, so
Shadow Stepper.
shadow step by here, and then I'm gonna, because it's he's doing melee, I'm gonna quickly sort of switch his fin out for his dagger to represent his melee attack, if that's okay.
Yep, fine.
At least.
You sure not going to use your blasphemy hands?
Well, it says a melee attack, so I'm
Melee
kind
attack?
of using.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm using that, but I'd like to say technically he is using the blasphemy hands. It's just a small dagger is what all I've got to represent that. So, and it says like any melee attack. So
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. So let me mark this guy.
So since you declared you were going to do an action, I may as well leave that to do it. Yep, cool.
I roll with advantage because I'm doing it from cloak, don't I?
Correct.
Okay.
So that's a good.
Ooh.
That is a critical hit.
So
Roll
it's this
damage.
plus an extra
D8.
So sneak attack and D8 blasphemy hands.
Yep. Wow.
28 damage.
Stabs it, destroys it, and yeah, it lurches back and goes and keels over. Which will kick things off with there being one other in the area. However, you took that one out in one shot, so you shouldn't have much of a problem with the other one. But what you do notice is that now that this thing is you got it in the back, and took it, in one shot, so hit it stabbed it through a vital area. As it falls backwards, in the light that's just about cast onto the roof where you stood next to this thing by Glitch's torchlight, you can see that it's another one of those corvid, those crow-like people. But there's one very definite difference. It's got no eyes. Where there should be eyes are just these black pits.
Like the moon?
Maybe. But this throws us into initiative because there is one other that you guys did actually spot, and it's over there just out of your torchlight. So, that one is dead and done.
Does that mean, are we all technically stealthed apart from Tapestry?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm no longer hidden and cloaked.
So I'm going to quickly throw this into combat. So
your moon eyes are trumped by my blasphemy hands.
So yeah, you've got the drop on this other one as well. So one of you can feel free to go at it, make an attack. Whoever wants to take the initiative. Otherwise, I will nominate one of those who are not here.
Can someone see or not?
I can get Glitch to go first in order to move up so everyone can see.
Yeah, Glitch can go first, move up. They can take a shot at it.
Cool. Knock down pistol ammo, and then use revolver, which she doesn't use very often. So let's use the revolver. Bang! That was a good shot. 21 with hope. Damage.
Ooh. Matt, the critical thing. Sorry, did that give me the hope and the stress? Is that right?
That gave you a hope and a stress. Yes, it does. Yes,
cool.
It does.
Just realised I hadn't rolled out. Excellent.
That was a very big hit I just did. Bam! What did I need to do? Did I need to do anything? No, I didn't do anything. Okay, cool. Bam, that was a glitch, which means that that was an attack with hope. That was it. I needed to give her 1 hope. I am going to use a fear to make this thing's turn before it doesn't get any turns at all. As it's going to flutter down and actually take on the one who just attacked it. What you notice is that the Corvian dweller flutters to the floor, and this one in the torchlight you can see does not have eyes as well, and it just seems to reach forward with its claws, as it seems to be not guessing where she is, but sensing where she is without being able to actually see her. So it's reaching forward with grasping talons, and then as soon as it gets an idea that she's within range, starts to swipe with its claws, which it's going to do now. Ooh. And of course I roll a 20. God damn. So it gets a big unexpected hit as Glitch recoils from the fact that it's got no eyes!
Ooh, that's got a big hit.
That was a big hit. She takes
take it on the
major damage. So Glitch at this point is like, help! That's all the Corvian Dweller can do. You guys are one of you guys next. If you can hit it, you can probably take it down. Peter! Da-da-da!
Actually. Actually, no, we're trying to be quiet. I'm not going to do the push-up. We'll just do a straightforward hit. Or not.
You
oh,
hit
actually, 14.
Fear.
And I've got to roll the other one for brutal because it's still not doing it. Oh, wrong one. I'll take the second one.
Okay.
So that's 9 hit points of damage.
9 for this fellow is a 2, which means that is 1 dead Corvian Dweller. But as it falls to the floor, there's a clatter. As you realize that this thing actually had something embedded in it, like a weapon. But the nature of the weapon is it's got an odd shape to it. You've never seen its like before. It's
Something is in this thing. Glitch, could you hold the light a bit closer? But I'm not going in any closer. He's just trying to look but keep a distance from this thing.
Sure. What you notice is that the weapon appears to be some kind of motorized shears. It's odd. It's got like one longer blade than the other, and they appear to meet in the middle to create almost like a scissors. But there's some kind of motor in the middle that seems to, well, make it more powerful than just a regular pair of scissors, some kind of motorized shears.
You're going to have to make the call on this, because would Glitch immediately go, ooh, shiny machine?
Imagine she would. Because as she pulls it out and holds it up, the first thing she does is give it a tug and notices that there's a catch where the two blades essentially join. And when she does that, they come apart. And it suddenly goes from being a set of mechanized shears to being two blades. One that can be wielded in each hand. These are guillotine shears. And they use agility to attack with.
Ah.
I do believe. Yeah. So yeah, both settings of the weapon, both in its shears form and in its sword and. It appears to be a broadsword and shortsword configuration that could be combined into a set of mechanized shears using agility.
No one's agility based. Into the party stash, I suppose, unless someone wants to give it a go.
I will put it in the party inventory for now.
But you said it was embedded in
Yep.
the creature.
It was stuck in it, so somebody had used it, stabbed it, or it had fallen onto it. Who knows? Here we are. Guillotine shears are now in the party inventory if you want to take a look. If you remember where to find it. Does anybody not know where to find the party character sheet?
It is.
It's on the players list as the party.
The
Yes.
party!
Give it a look.
Yeah.
Could be interesting, but Halad's not the person to take that.
Yeah. Similarly, the fact that they are like two-handed weapon wouldn't fit feathers.
It might be a Galar thing at some point, but we'll have to wait and see.
Galar has already got the Sanctified Partisan, which is the halberd / spear and shield. So.
That's true.
But a trick weapon like this could be traded for quite a bit, potentially. Unless, of course, Glitch wants time with it and pull it apart first. Bit of column A, a bit of column B.
Anyway, are we ready to move on? That noise might attract more.
Feathers is all the way back in the shadows, just so as you know. So this area that you're currently stood in, it looks like there was at one point a brightly painted greenhouse nearby, but the glass has been shattered and the wood is cracked. Apparently pierced by multiple bullet holes at some point. So how do you wish to proceed?
Look, as I look to man like, where next?
All
I
right.
think all we can really do is follow him, so.
Yep. Lead on our very trustworthy guide.
Are we leaving anybody behind? Yes, we are leaving folks behind. Let me put one by there. Let me move that guy out of the way so it's easier to get you guys in a cluster.
I'm taking the opportunity to twirl my moustache now that I'm visible, twirling it with the fingers of my blasphemy hands.
And accidentally hurt himself because he released the power into the mustache.
Nah,
Onwards we
my
go.
blasphemy hands don't hurt me, they're my hands. I'm naming a manor after them.
Oh, fine.
I know it's a lot to take, Tavis. Just, grin and bear it. So onwards they proceed. Madden goes on with Glitch trying to stay as close as possible with the light source. Glitch just hovering. Galar just hovering around.
Callard is hopping from nearby rooftop to nearby rooftop and keeping an eye out as we go.
Yes. Sadly, by going rooftop to rooftop, what you're getting is mostly darkness, and the only darkness that you can see that is illuminated is the moon and those upside-down souls.
Yes, but if I'm on the rooftop, I'm looking down, so I'm not looking at the moon. It sounds
Cool.
weird, but I'm slightly less creeped out when I'm not looking at it. That's the person with eyes in every direction. Damn it.
Sure. Can I get you to give me an instinct check then, please?
Uh-oh.
Just as that
Reaction or just normal up roll?
We can make it a reaction. Let's see how on the ball you are. 17. Okay, cool. It's as Glitch and Madon are rounding the corner that you hear voices. A pair of voices coming from somewhere over this way, going, "Corruption! I smell corruption! Expunge it! Expunge the evil! Death to the corrupted! Filthy beasts! Cursed
Sniff on
they
the
are."
wind. Any scent or anything?
Okay.
Unwashed
That's a
bodies
roof.
is definitely coming closer.
Something is approaching.
Gesture to the group.
An individual with some limbs slightly more hunched or muscular or malformed than the rest of their body starts to wander in, but like with the Corvian dweller, they are moving with their hands outstretched, feeling everywhere in front of them, taking staggered steps forwards, as the torchlight reveals that they also have no eyes. Filthy beasts. Can smell them, I can. Corruption. Corruption everywhere. Must be destroyed. Expunged. Foul beasts. Cursed beasts. What would you like to do?
Looks at Peter. Stab him?
If we could avoid
Oh, I've got enough
attracting
hope.
more attention, maybe. Because where there's one of these, there's usually more, as of before, when they attacked on Geistnacht.
They are drifting forwards as if sensing your presence.
Yeah.
You
I'm
haven't got
going
long.
to jump in and stab one.
Jump in and stab one. Okay, I will point out that just like Father Francis in the last episode, and before that, Madon Gillet counts as an ally, and therefore has the ability to, if you spend a hope, he can sneak up on any enemy within close range of him and deal damage that can leave them temporarily vulnerable by essentially shanking him. Or you can spend a hope to have Madden come up behind an enemy within close range and make an attack with advantage. That not only deals damage, but essentially makes them unable to travel much further than very close range without needing to make an agility roll, so he can hamstring them. But if Khalad is jumping in, then let's get Khalad to jump in and start this thing off.
Okay. So, I think this is the plan of charge.
Let's charge the rapier, okay.
And
Electricity crackles
course.
along its length.
attack him. So,
Whatoosh! That is a 19 with hope. That is a hit. Take the hope. That's a good roll.
and because I'm a crazy person,
Spend a stress to attack another target. Nice, nice. Which this time is a 11 with hope, which is still a hit. Take the hope again. Roll damage. Alright. Badoosh! Doesn't hit them, that one quite as solidly as the one beforehand, but hits them nevertheless. I am going to take a... I'm going to spend a fear in order to activate the more able among the two, as they realise you are there now. Cursed beast! It cries. Now, when one of these guys is within melee range of a creature, and at least one other is within very close range, all attacks against you have advantage. So it's going to make an attack with advantage. I roll 16 on both, so that is a hit either way. Actually landing hits. That is a 6.
I will take that as a minor damage.
Okay. Alright then, so that is this creature done. One of you can go next. Who wants to take the spotlight? Kalat has already gone, so I would recommend somebody else. Tapestry has asked for the spotlight. Tapestry takes the spotlight.
It's time for blasphemy hands.
Help with the cat, please.
Sorry, my blasphemy hands cannot help with cats. Okay. So, throwing in it. Adventures because I help with the thing.
Whapoosh! Shame to waste blasphemy hands when they're there. Unfortunately, you not only miss, you miss with fear. So that is a swing and a miss, I am afraid, which means I automatically come next. But Tapestry moved, Tapestry attacked. That's what Tapestry did. Even with the blasphemy hands failed you this time.
Oh, to be fair, the blasphemy hands protected me as well from that eye that is guiding these things. Probably stolen from Kalad. I'll be sure to tell him about it later when we're not under its watchful eye. He'll only worry about it if we do.
So the blind creature turns around, realizing that Tapestry is there, and flails wildly with its claws, but not too wildly that would suggest it doesn't know exactly where you are, even with its eyes not in its head. Nevertheless, Tapestry is too quick, too nimble. Must be the blasphemy.
I block it with my blasphemy hands.
Indeed. So Miss Featherington has requested the spotlight. Miss Featherington gets the spotlight. Manipulate magic. So you can hit both targets at once, I take it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Alright, so that is a darn good roll. That is a 15 with hope, which is a hit on both counts. So take the hope, and then roll damage. You should finish them off, I would imagine. Oh, that was almost a big old 10. That's 13, though, so that is... it's caught them both. Boom, boom! 2 up, 2 down. Unleash Chaos. Chaos was unleashed. Both those creatures fell and finished that encounter then and there. And so they fall down after reality essentially squashes them flat and then springs back into shape thereafter. Alright. Silence falls. You hold your breath for a moment or two to check whether or not something else comes out of the shadows, but for now, it seems that all has gone quiet again, and Madden appears from out of the shadows that he had hidden in.
By the way, Matt,
Yo.
I've done enough actions that my disguise has now faded, so I'm once more looking like Tapestry.
Alright. Madden takes like a double take. It's like, alright then, come and... Whoa. Okay.
It's the hands, isn't it? Don't worry, they won't hurt you.
Sure. Let's go with it's the hands. Okay. Well, I must say, I'm glad you guys are around. I'm not sure I would have been able to deal with these things as easily as you have. So, yeah, you guys are certainly competent. Keep leading the way then, I suppose. As Glitch comes off in this direction. Where's Galar? There's Galar. A shimmering, multicolored light seems to be shining through a shattered window, casting dancing shadows across the ground.
Avoid that.
Miss Featherington, however, is going right up to it. Anybody else investigating it? Nope. Okay.
Anybody telling Calad that it's a good idea? Nope. Good.
You gaze into the light. Something gazes back at you for a moment. And for the briefest flicker of moments, something in your head makes sense before madness comes cascading back again. And revelations from beyond afflict you. Ooh. What is it as you get hit with another short-term madness?
Another one that involves speech.
You are stunned. This effect ends early if you mark at least 2 hit points or if a restorative spell as a vulnerability is used on you. So whatever that revelation was, it knocks Miss Featherington for a loop and she almost cognitively shuts down. Yeah, stops mid-beckon. So while still looking at it and her hand is beckoning to everybody, it freezes in place. At which point Glitch goes up to her and starts like snapping her fingers in front of her eyes, doing the whole "can you see anything" in front of her eyes, and just holds her hands up as if to shrug to everybody else. It's like, guys, something's broken Miss Featherington. And as that happens, the light that did it flickers out. It's not quite.
Last time I tried to carry her to safety, she wasn't happy. So if someone else would like to do it, or we can wait till she comes to.
You might be the only one who can lift her.
I wouldn't recommend hanging around, says Madden. Besides, we're nearly there.
Apologies, Miss Featherington. We do not wish to leave you behind. I'll try to be gentle and be dignified. I apologize. Actually, Glitch, could you help me? Actually, no, she's got the light. I was thinking, like, between 2 people, it would probably be more of a dignified carry than
Galar's got quite strong.
than a fireman carry. It's like
Sure.
one each side. So basically, we get each side of her and just gently lift, but without
Roll
rather
on each
than...
arm kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Galar's more than strong enough, so that's fine. That makes sense. So, Madon and the light source move onwards this way. So if you'd like you arrange yourselves in a proper fashion. I mean, Miss Featherington's going to end up being carried on one side by Galar and the other side by Peter Whoosh, who gets moved to there.
She's just about to do it and then he went flying.
Yep. We are leaving Calad behind.
Catching up.
As you eventually see that iron spikes adorn the tops of a thick stone wall that surrounds an ominous, almost fortress-like manor. A green crest bearing a stag's profile decorates the center of the heavy iron knocker on the front doors. Madden approaches it. And so, we have made our way successfully to the house. Let me just, once again, fix where you are going. An appropriate light source as we move over to so you pass beyond the initial iron the iron gate in the stone wall and come up to a mansion. The mansion is much larger by far than Cran's house that you passed before, but looks in no less a state of dilapidation. Nevertheless, Madden, apparently very familiar with this place, climbs the steps leading up to the front door and gives it a knock. The doors you see each have, the two front doors, pardon me, each have an eye slit, one of which eventually opens to reveal that there is a lit area behind this main door, and a pair of eyes regard you. At which point, Madden flashes his toothy smile and says, "Mrs. Ackerman, we have guests who want to see his lordship." The eyes regard Madden for a few moments before they turn to regard yourselves. They pause, and then the muffled voice from the other side goes, "One moment, please." The eye latch, the eye shutter, whatever I called it before, slides shut, and you hear the fumbling at many locks before the front doors are opened, and an elderly-looking lady with a scowl makes you wonder if any of the servant class in this area are actually happy with their lot at all. But she seems to be regarding Madden with the most disapproval, whereas she stands to one side and says, "Well, enter, please. I will send for Lord Thomathin." Madden just barges in.
Another really trustworthy person.
So the scene has now changed, so Callad, for you, that short-term madness effect will stop. Likewise, Miss Featherington's new paralysis will wear off, so that she can operate herself now. So the stunned effect has ceased. And Galar and Peter are able to gently put her down, from them each holding one arm. Glitch, of course, fusses over Miss Featherington to make sure that she is absolutely, definitely okay.
Does that mean my blasphemy hands are faded?
I'm afraid your blasphemy hands have faded.
Well, they were there when I needed them in the shadows.
Glitch is moving Miss Featherington's limbs up and down to see if they will move of their own volition. Taps Miss Featherington a couple of times in different places to see whether or not there's everything is actually working again. But eventually just asks Miss Featherington if she's all right, if she can hear. The lady at the door, however, goes, "Well, you coming in or not?"
Is she okay to move? Glitch?
Webby, is Glitch able to tell that Miss Featherington is fully functional again?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm going to go with yes then in that case, with that less than deterministic answer.
Miss Featherington, please could you join us inside where it's safer?
Glitch will stay outside just so that there's light for everyone to see by. I'll move Galar in as well.
You won't go in until the other two go in.
What was the instinct roll for?
I rolled a 19 to remain motionless. That's fine.
Yeah, and then once glitch goes through, he'll come in.
Okay, so Mrs. Ackerman closes the door behind and shuffles off into a different room to apparently fetch the master. Meanwhile, you're left to view this. Obviously, in its time, it was a very ostentatious abode. Candles have been lit in their sconces, but it does little to demonstrate the fact that even though this place is very posh, it's not seen as much upkeep as a house its size would. You certainly can't hear the evidence of anyone else other than yourselves and Mrs. Ackerman as further occupants to the house, which suggests that there are no other staff. This area does have another floor up, as these stairs will attest, but the floor above you, the first floor, does not appear to be lit all that much. There appears to be only a single or a smattering of candle sconces that have actually been lit. Mrs. Ackerman comes back out and asks if you could all use the sitting room while Lord Revolt comes to address you, and she opens the sitting room door. Madden comes forward, however, and says, me and the boss have got to talk a bit, Mrs. Ackerman, before he can talk to these fine folks, if that's okay. Hello.
Before going in, just we'll take a sniff and just listen and like strain his ears. He's trying to hear if there's anyone else apart from moving in the house. He's expecting to.
You can hear vague sounds of shuffled movement coming from somewhere else, which seems to indicate somebody using a walking cane.
So I'm able to decipher if it's like one pair of, or is it multiple people?
Just one person.
This one person, okay. So it basically just going to see if there's anyone else in the house aside from the boss. So it's like, are we about to walk into a trap or something?
Doesn't seem so. So Glitch moves in. There is a lit fire in the room, which allows you to have plenty of light. Peter sits in the sole armchair. The others can sit or stand as they wish.
Actually, I just realised this is probably the master's chair, so he's actually going to get up and...
Yeah, it does creak under your weight when you initially sit in it, so yes. The door is closed, and you only have a few moments to wait.
The way is shut.
Before the sitting room door, swings open, and an impeccably dressed elderly gentleman strides through, followed by the ever-silent Madden. At a glance, this is clearly a man accustomed to wealth and respect. Although his splotchy skin and advanced age suggest his health may be declining, his steel straight back and fiery eyes suggest otherwise. The gentleman takes in the room with a glance before introducing himself and sitting down in the main armchair. Greetings. Thank you for responding to my request. I am Lord Thomathin Revolt, and I need your help. So, this becomes where I have to ask a question. We are missing how many of our number now? 2?
2.
So, do we perhaps want to save this exposition for when we have a more full house next time? Or do we think we have enough time to get some exposition out, and you can just bring the other guys up to speed next time?
I think it'd be easier to wait. Or better to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well then. I will take the consensus. And so, you have made it through the Ruby District to Thomathin Revolt's house, and he is about to request a job of you, which was actually your secondary reason for being here. But you apparently have to hear this fellow out before you can find out what happened to Boras Deepreaver, who is the real reason you are here. But that will have to wait until next time, where hopefully we will have more of our party with us. So, until that time, apologies once again for mislabeling the cursed stream. But there we go. We will take this up next week, as long as everyone is available to carry on. This will be the 31st of March. Good grief, that's March been and gone. Everybody available?
Should be.
I am.
Excellent. In which case, I will thank those folks who popped by just to have a look in. Thank you very much for that. As always, big thanks go to the Darrington Press guys for creating Daggerheart in the first place. And, of course, to Chris Davidson, otherwise known as Right Knight to Fight, for creating the guide for custom adversary creation. As usual, here is his drive-through RPG store if you want to go look at his awesome stuff. Because so many of us wouldn't be able to do this as well with creating custom adversaries if it wasn't for his work. There are, of course, other folks I would like to thank, especially my players, for being great as per usual. But there's also the folks who made the various modules that we use that I won't go into right now, because they're all great anyway. Thank you very much, folks who tuned in and stuck around. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you fancy giving us a like, that would be nice. Maybe keep the algorithm pointed in our general direction. But until then, thank you for tuning in, folks. Thank you for my players for being present. And we will just end the stream by saying, treat each other with kindness and respect, because god damn this world. Right now. And good night out there. Whatever you are.